Hey, everybody, what's going on? Welcome to the Wednesday Motivation and Business Empowerment Call with your girl, Solandia Hammond, a.k.a. Sue Health, baby. Oh, my goodness, man. It is December 24th, 2014, a day we will never see again, the day before Christmas. And it's Wednesday, and so many of you are here on the call when you could be wrapping gifts or sipping on eggnog. And to you, I'll salute you and say thank you. We've got such a dynamic call here today. I just want to say we do this call every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the purpose of the call is to help motivate you throughout the remainder of the week, but to also give you great tips and strategies to help you in your business, your career, and your personal life. And we've got a dynamic guest on the line today, but before I introduce my guest to you guys and get her to talk about what she does, just want to do some housekeeping here. I want you to know that next week on the show, we got Mike Williams coming up, six-figure earner online. He is the creator of the self-driven profit system, also the seven-figure blueprint. It's going to be a phenomenal call next Wednesday, so make sure you're tapping back in at 9 a.m. And also, don't forget, guys, head over to the sueham.com website, SUEHAM.com. and check out all the great things we got going on over there, free informational videos, as well as the Sue Ham School of Success, which exists to help you excel online, whether you've done business or not. We've got beginner courses that can help you to take your current business to the new level or to help you make money online with or without a business. And I know we can use some extra cash, so that's a great thing to check out. And then, last but not least, in February, my business partner and I, Terri Clay, are doing a business explosion mastermind in Miramar Beach, Florida, which is about 5 minutes away from the Gulf of Mexico. And for those of you that need an intimate setting with training that can really help to enhance your skills within your current business or to help you to make extra money, you can chill out with us for 5 days with a private chef in a 7,500 square foot mansion and, rub elbows with us and soak up all the knowledge that we have. But we'll talk about that a little bit later on. Let's go ahead and get into the show. Again, if you're new to the show, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're an oldie but goodie, hey, thanks for always stopping in. Today's show, man, is really going to be kicker. I'm excited. I wanted to invite my business partner, Terri L. Clay, back to the show because in the last couple of months, she has really been doing some phenomenal things. I've been watching her just explode on the Internet. And I was like, yo, you've got to come back on the show and tell people what it is that you found. You found something, and clearly you are killing it. And I want you to come back and share it with my listeners so that they can connect with you and go out there and kill it as well. So, everybody, welcome to the show, Terri L. Clay, the Startup Business Coach. Good morning, Terri.
Hey, good morning, and Merry Christmas to everybody.
Yeah. Happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, happy holidays, all that good stuff.
Yes.
Now, Terri, you know I know you. I've known you now since the ending of 2012. It's funny. I met you you actually started teaching me how to blog at the end of 2012. And I know you. I know all the great stuff that you got going on. But please take a couple of minutes to tell my listening audience who you are and what you do. And a little bit of your background, Terri, a little bit of your background, because I want them to know where you came from, because a lot of people tend to think that they can't be successful unless they start on the top, when the truth is 99% of us start on the bottom. So
come on now.
Take it away.
Yes, I did start I didn't start on the bottom, but I ended up being on the bottom, my name is Terri L. Clay. I am known as the StartupBizCoach.com. I always say that because that's where you can find me, at the StartupBizCoach.com. And but I didn't start up doing that. Honestly, I didn't even find my niche of entrepreneurship or anything like that. I was raised in a family full of college graduates. My family loves graduations. Everybody, somebody about to graduate, we all go there, and I'm there with them. I support my family as well. But the thing is I didn't realize that I really wasn't that person. I was the person that was the entrepreneur. I was the person that wanted to live life on my own terms. I mean, actually, as I sit in this car, I'm here in my pajamas, right? That's how I like to work, right? So I'm a free spirit. I'm different, right? And so because of that, I went to college because that's what my family said to do, and I became a nurse and hated my job. And, I tell people that, and they say, how did you hate nursing? Honey, trust me, you can hate it. Hated it, right? And so, I didn't like it. I was miserable at it. It wasn't for me, and it really isn't. If you know nurses and you know me, it's not even my personality. You can't really be a free spirit and a nurse. See, that's the thing, because nursing is more anal, and you got to be attention to detail, and your mind got to be focused. I'm more like an ADD type person. I go here and there and there, but it helps I'm creative because of that, so it's not a problem. But the point is, my entrepreneurship, I realized I was an entrepreneur after going to nursing school. It was a 10-year journey. I failed, and I kept trying. Guess what? I eventually became a nurse, woohoo, and hated my job in 3 months. And so I realized that it was not my purpose. I had 4 kids by the time I was 21. I was a survivor of domestic violence by 21, and I thought that was going to help me. I really just thought that money would help me. The money of nursing, and you can probably make, $20 an hour at the nurse level I was at, $20 or $25, something like that. So at that time, I thought that would be good for me, worked 40 years, and I thought that was the message that was given to the world, right? When really that's not my message at all. I'm not even that. I always think I should be a millionaire, and I should be riding in Lambos and living I got a house in Paris and a house in Texas and a house in, that's how my mind thinks. And I'm like, I don't see how I'm going to get that with working this job here. It's not going to pay this much money. And so when I started realizing that I was really not the person that could go click the clock every day forever, then I started asking God what my purpose was. And, of course, I thought God was going to say, you go do this, and, voila, you go do it, right? No, wrong. So I did that. I realized I really started being like a motivational speaker, and, I had my own radio show and just start kind of helping people with their businesses. But I wasn't the startup biz coach early on, and around that time I really was helping people with their purpose, and I lost everything I owned. I was living in an abandoned building, doing my radio show. I mean, it was crazy how I lost so much stuff. And, but, I kept trying, because really the miracle doesn't happen until you keep trying and keep pushing. People don't realize that the only reason there are so little successful people, when I say little, is because it's, if you look at a triangle, for example, the top is really small, and that's how the millionaires of the world look, are the billionaires, are the successful people who are really doing what they're supposed to do. That they in that top portion. The bottom are the people who mostly quit and gave up and those type of things. And the middle is just people either on the way up or on the way down, right? So I just decided one day when I kept quitting, because I did quit. I did when it was rough and I didn't have money. I would go back to work and work on a regular job. And finally, one day I said, you know what? I'm not quitting no matter what. And I don't care what happens, and I don't care how long it takes. I'm not quitting. And when I said that, when you say that, or when you really believe that, you're going to get tested. And I got tested because I lost my car. I lost my home. I lost everything. I was living out of a suitcase, living in places, and just have my suitcase walking down the street crazy. I mean, I was like, this is nuts. I mean, and the thing about this is what got me, and this is some of the story, I never tell this part of it, but I ended up having to sleep in airport, and I had to sleep in the Greyhound bus station, and with my suitcase. But the thing about it is, because I didn't look homeless, nobody ever really messed with me. Nobody ever messed with me per se, because they don't want people sleeping in the airport, but they probably thought I was really catching a flight. And so that's how I end up but my point is, that journey, I did not give up. No matter how crazy it looked, I kept pushing and kept pushing. And that's what I'm encouraging anybody to do, is that I don't care how crazy it might not get as crazy as that. but it may get crazy to your level of what you think, oh, this is nuts, you know, and your kids may have, you know, this is Christmas time. You know, I was telling my children last night that they woke up with nothing for Christmas, and they don't even remember it. It's just so funny, and they were young, but they woke up one time with no Christmas stuff because I'm trying to live my journey, but they were young, and they don't even remember it, probably because I didn't tell them it was Christmas, so they were so young that they didn't even realize it. But the point is, well, would you really be willing to let your kids wake up with nothing for Christmas? You might have to do that, you know, and of course, someone's going to say, well, I ain't doing it then. But really, do you really want your dreams to come true, you know? So you may even be teaching your kid a lesson by letting them wake up with nothing for Christmas. Because you remember, what's that guy's name that they slept in what's that thing they slept in? They slept in the bathroom, and now he's like a multi-millionaire. Will Smith did the movie and all that. What was that guy?
I don't remember the gentleman's name, but I remember the movie.
Well, the movie was Pursuit of Happiness, and the point is, who would want their child to sleep in a dirty, dingy bathroom on the floor? Nobody. But today he's a millionaire, and his son, that lesson his son was taught to make it happen no matter what. He taught his son a dynamic lesson. So if you really want your dreams to come true, is what I'm saying, if you may have to teach your children a dynamic lesson so that they can win in life. And sometimes we think we're supposed to give our kids everything, and we're supposed to make sure they're never uncomfortable and never have to go through what we've been through. But it's probably what you've been through is what made you who you are today and what will make them who they are today. So that's it.
Totally. And, you know, something you said that I really, really, really loved and really was tuned into, you was like, you know, what you went through, and I'm going to put it in my terms, what you went through was your hell. And you're not saying that, okay, your hell is greater than somebody else's hell, because my limit, you know, of what I can go through may be a little bit more than what you can go through. You see what I'm saying? Exactly. But the point of it is we all have a breaking point, and the decision you have to make is, are you going to go beyond your breaking point? And clearly you did. Clearly you did, and that's why you are such a success today. So what actually landed you into Internet marketing? And before you actually answer that question, if you could, just take a minute for people who may be on the call and may be wondering, well, what is Internet marketing? Just explain that, and then just tell us how you actually got into the land of Internet marketing.
Well, I mean, Internet marketing is where, I guess, what the kind of Internet marketing I was in. And it's really a way that you can really promote your business on the Internet. But, I mean, there's all sorts of ways, I guess, that you can get into Internet marketing. But I was honestly in this company that was I would say a multi-level, a network marketing company. And the network marketing company is where you're going to join this company under somebody else. They're going to invite you in. And then when they invite you in this company, then your job is to invite others in to join the company, and you're going to get paid because they joined the company. And so actually I was following this girl, young girl, 20 years old, and she was on Facebook just really promoting her company that she was in. Now, one of the things that caught my eyes, because I am a speaker and a coach and that type of thing, is that she was blogging. And, you know, she was talking about all this money she was making. She was about to make $10,000 a month and all this other stuff. And I was like, whoa, hold up. And she was blogging on top of that. So it wasn't for the money per se. It was the fact that you could really promote your business doing this. And so I was like, I really wanted, I mean, of course, who doesn't want $10,000 a month? But I really wanted the fact that she was blogging, and I knew that could teach me something. So I kind of just joined her at the lowest level for a little while, and that's when I really started to learn, oh, my goodness, so much. I mean, this company was like, I would say, I've never been in many companies, so I can't even say, you know, if they're the number one company, but I believe, because I've heard of other companies and how they had it set up, my team was so dynamic. They taught me so much and I say for free, but, you know what, you had to join the company, but they taught so much to their team because of that. But the point is, I joined this company to make the money and to learn blogging, and I just joined. And actually, my person that I signed up under dropped out herself. She wasn't even doing it after a couple of months. I was in much longer than she was, and but that's really how I kind of got started in it.
Okay, cool. So basically, you got into the Internet marketing basically as a way to promote yourself as a speaker, and then you went on to learn more about blogging, and then you also went on to actually make money with promoting other people's products and whatnot. Now, you mentioned blogging.
Exactly.
How has blogging been working for you? Because I know that you blog every day, sometimes 2 times a day. How's that working out for you?
I am like, the more I learn about blogging, the more I know that I have to. You have to be, when you want to be successful, you got to do what others are not willing to do. Let me just say that. And so the more I learned about blogging, of course, when you're learning something, you only learn a little bit at a time. So I joined this company, and these millionaire bloggers said to blog every day, 7 days a week. And so I was like, just because they said it, I didn't have the reasoning, I didn't have nothing. They said it. And doesn't success leave clues? So if a millionaire blogger says to blog daily, why not? If I want to be a millionaire, then maybe I need to be blogging daily. That's how I think, right? So
right.
I was just blogging daily. I even found out ways to do short blogs and not even have to blog a long blog and do all this research, So, but the point is, I was still spitting out a blog 7 days a week. And okay, so time went on, and like I said, the team was still teaching, and I would just learn a little bit at a time, and just watching other bloggers. I was watching Sandy Krakowski and Ray Higdon and all these big name people that had these blogs, and then all of a sudden the light bulb just kind of went ding, 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 and I realized why they were doing, all these big time people were doing it the way their blogs were doing it, and so instead of virtually doing the blog with that company, I decided, hold up, you're helping this company, you need to help yourself. And so I got my own blog with my own company, and I started to blog with my own company. And virtually, it's just like, it just started getting crazy. And the more research I did on blogging, the more I was like, you can get checks out. These people there are people that have $1 million blogs, $200,000 a month blogs. I mean, it's crazy. And then the more I started researching, I started seeing, I can do this, I can do that, and I started getting checks.
So let me ask you. That's what I was going to ask you. So are checks rolling into you for just writing a blog? Okay.
Yes, I'm getting checks from Google, JV Zoo products. I mean, it's like crazy. Like, I mean, I haven't even done even the half of what I can do. It's just the learning, because I'm still, of course, you should be a daily learner. So even though I know a lot, I still should keep, if you want to go be better, you need to learn daily. But, yeah, when I started getting those checks from Google,
mm-hmm. Terri, and here's the thing. One thing I want you to elaborate on is that you can write a blog today, right? And then 365 days later, let's just say it's December 24th, 2015, you can still make money from that blog a year later from something you did?
Yeah. I have a blog right now that this blog goes, for some reason, this is a very hot blog. But anyway, it's had, I blogged, this blog I wrote in October. It's had over 6,000 views to it right now. What's this, December? And it has a product on there. And the only reason I know that this is, it has a product on there that I'm promoting. And somebody just purchased from that blog, and I wrote it October, somebody just purchased last week from that product, from that blog in October. Remember, so because virtually what blogging is internet real estate. So you can virtually get yourself in position to be found, get yourself on the first page of Google, get where your blog is, just keep looking at it, and guess what? That you're going to keep getting traffic. Like I said, that blog has 6,000 hits just from October to December. 6,000 people have been to this blog, and they just keep going back. And not only am I getting hits from that blog, from that product, I also are getting clicks. So Google will pay you for clicks, and I can teach you how to do that if you don't know how. But Google would pay you. So I'm getting money from Google from that same blog that I wrote in October.
Wow, that's crazy. Well, definitely, before the end of the call, we definitely want you to drop your information and tell people how they can find you and how they can learn more about blogging. We do know that it is very profitable, but not only is it profitable, it sets you up as someone who is very credible because you're leaving a trail on Google search engines, Bing search engines, Yahoo search engines. So when people are looking for insightful information, all they have to do is put in keywords and search, and they can find you or they can find your product. So
let me tell you this. I've been looking at my blog at the organic traffic. And organic just means is people are putting in keywords and finding you. And I see a blog. I see a couple of my blogs are from, months when this is my new blog, so this blog is probably about 6 or 7 months old. And I see people punching in keywords for blogs I did probably day one, and they're finding my blog from this, from those keywords. And a lot of times what I'll do is, because I wasn't doing, if I find out the blog is real hot, then I'll put a product on there that's going to lead to, and then I'll know that, because this blog is getting so much traffic, somebody's going to eventually want to purchase something. So that's just, that's how you have to start thinking smart,
Absolutely. And so I love blogging. I know we could talk about this all day, but let's get into also, we know you have the Startup Biz Coach radio show. And I want to get into, and you have been interviewing, I'm getting some feedback when you're in, Terri. But,
really?
But you have really been interviewing some great people like Sharon Lecter, and for many people.
Let me try. Let me switch phones.
Okay, you're good now. And for many people who don't know, Sharon Lecter was on the movie The Secret. She also worked with the Napoleon Hill Foundation. She also helped to put out Napoleon Hill's book, Outwitting the Devil. So Terri has a Startup Biz radio show. And Terri, what I would like for you to do is just tell us, maybe give us 2 or 3 things that are very important that you've learned from your guests that you've interviewed on your radio show.
Wow, yeah. It's just crazy talking to people that are very successful, and I would have never known that. I just wouldn't have known the magnitude of it until I started talking to millionaires and people that are just like very successful. But one of the things that I talked to Greg Reed, and his show actually will go live maybe like next week.
Now, who's Greg Reed?
Now, Greg Reed he worked with Sharon Lecter, and he wrote the book 3 Feet from Gold. And if you've heard that book, 3 Feet from Gold, you can Google it or whatever. But he wrote that book with Sharon Lecter, who is with the Napoleon. They're both with the Napoleon Hill Foundation. And I was speaking to him, and I always ask, what books are you all reading? And I'm like, thinking, okay, he's going to say what books he's reading. Now, he worked with the Napoleon Hill Foundation, which has all these Fortune 500 companies, and they have networking events, and he goes to them and meets all these people, right? And he was all like, well, reading's nice, but, it's much better to meet the people in person. Bam! I was like, whoa! I said, that was next level for me, because when he said that, I was like, that makes sense. But, if, of course, it's good to read because, if you aren't able to connect, but why not aim a little higher for your life and get in the network with those type of people? You can do whatever you want in life, right? So, that just made me start wanting to interview more people because if nothing else, I can sit in my house and talk to these people, or when I'm recording. And so that was just one thing that I learned that, I don't even think my mind was even stretched to make sure I kept myself in the number of those people, talking to those people. So now my goal is to aim to be around like-minded, not just reading books, because what he said was, your friends, my friends are, the guy with the Fortune 500 companies. If you listen to the show, you'll see the companies he named. I can't think of them offhand. But the point is, he was like, I'll be around these people, and they teach me how to do this and that. So why not learn from them firsthand by being around them? So what he said was, if you want to be a millionaire, you need to be around some other millionaires in a nutshell. So
cool.
And I've heard that, but it was – go ahead.
And I was just going to say, that is a great point. And when you told me that, I was really digging that. But for those people who may be in a remote area like myself, Terri and I still condone reading about these millionaires or learning from them. But like she said, in life, there are things that we can do. So there are networking events that are happening in your areas. You just need to make a concerted effort to be a part of that. Give us one more thing that you might have, one more big tip that you might have learned from someone that you interviewed on your radio show.
Let me see what else. Sharon Lecter was the one. She's been with Robert Kiyosaki, wrote 15 books with him of the Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And one thing she talked about that I loved about her show was she talked about having faith. And you, some of the stuff you hear, but when you hear somebody, a millionaire say it, you're kind of like, okay, I'm really going to have faith. But faith, she says, faith means, even when I just talked about this earlier, when it looks crazy, you still got to believe that you are doing what you're supposed to do. Because there's going to be a period when it does look crazy. It's not even a way, virtually what she said, it's not a way to get out of that. It's going to happen. But you need to believe, no matter what, that you are doing what you're supposed to do, and that faith is going to, or that you're being led or directed to do the right thing. And some people are held back because they think, oh, I don't know what to do, I'm so afraid, and all this stuff. But you got to just tough it out no matter what. Oh, I have another guest that I want to talk about real quick, though, but this girl was named Precious Williams. And Precious Williams, she's one of my Facebook friends. She is like the number one in the nation killer pitch master is what she calls herself. But this girl was abused by her mother. Mother put her out at 12 years old. She was really dogged out by her family. Then she went to live with her dad. Her dad was a crack addict and lived with him for 3 years. And then she went and lived with her grandparents for the last 3 years of 16, 17, and 18, and her life changed. She ended up going to Spelman. She's an attorney to this day, number one killer pitch master. And so when you if you go back and listen to her show, you can Google Precious Williams on Success with Terri. If you do that, you hear her how confident she is. I mean, this is a girl that was so nothing scares her, it just seemed like. So I asked her, I said, well, how are you so confident? How do you just know that things are going to happen? And she was like, I just know. I just believe it. I mean, that's the same thing that Sharon Lecter talked about, that faith. I just believe that I'm all that. I believe that I can do whatever I want. And I just want to encourage anybody that even if you're feeling down or you're feeling like you just can't, just believe in yourself. Because if Precious Williams could do it, I'm telling you, that girl, if you hear her story, you're going to be like, wow, yeah, she can do it, I can do it. So, just believe and have that faith even when it looks crazy, and those dreams will come true.
Oh, man, that is phenomenal. We are getting down to the last few minutes of this call, and I'm just, hyped up, amped up, because I'm listening to you about faith and just belief, and those are two things that I know that we totally harp on. And I'm a big fan of Dr. Dennis Kimbrough. He's a Napoleon Hill trainer. And in his book, The Wealth Choice, that is the number one ingredient in all of the millionaires and billionaires that he interviewed. That is the number one ingredient they said that they needed to possess in order to achieve the success that they currently have, and that was faith and belief. And I know that you are going to be interviewing him soon, and people can find out more.
Yeah, he'll be on in a couple of weeks. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Dr. Dennis Kimbrough is like, he was like, I couldn't even talk talking to him. But he was like him and Greg Reed, which they're both part of the Napoleon Hill Foundation, which is crazy. But they both were so dynamic. Yes, I just almost couldn't even talk. So sometimes you should be talking to people that make you shut your mouth. You should never be the smartest one all the time. You need to be the dumbest one sometimes. So that's how you're going to learn and how you're going to stretch yourself. But yeah, Dennis Kimbrough, his interview is like, I can't wait to share it because, like I said, you'll see that I wasn't talking much on the interview. I just let him do all the talking.
Oh, yeah, he's a powerful man, powerful voice, powerful knowledge. So definitely you guys plug into Success with Terri, TERRI.com to find out when that interview is coming up, but to also go back and listen to all the other interesting interviews that Terri has going on. So, Terri, before I let you get off the show, right, we're definitely going to get your contact info, but let's tell them real briefly, because I know I've had you on here about 30 minutes now, real briefly about the Business Explosion Mastermind that you and I have put together, and we have coming up here February 28th through March 5th, 2015.
Well,
what can people expect there?
Oh my gosh, this is going to be crazy. We attended another mastermind ourselves, and we just started to think how we could put our twist on our own mastermind. And we know that we have both published books. We know that we have both been paid speakers, been traveling all over the world speaking and getting paid. We knew that we could help people. We've been teaching classes, have our own courses, and we could teach somebody how to do the same. And how could we make that be outstanding, off the charts. But go to a private home, a mansion that is right off of the water where you get views, and have your courses inside this mansion. Get a private chef to fix dinner and breakfast for these people, and being able to go over to Mexico, and so we decided to put our own twist, and it just gets better, and we just keep thinking of more and more ideas every day. It seems like, but it's just like and what makes it so wonderful, what I like about it, is it's a intimate setting, so that if nothing else, you're going to get that one-on-one attention. You know that sometimes kids go to private schools, and they go to this private school because it's a small setting, and they get better attention because of that. Well, this is like the private school of Sue and Terri, right? So we're going to be able to, get on this one-on-one attention so that when 2015 can be your year. So you can stop saying 2014 is my year, 2013 my year. No, let 2015 be your year, because you got to this mastermind and you got that one-on-one attention. And that is what's going to help you get you growing, because everybody needs, let me tell you something with the people on my show. I'm talking about 99.9% of them has said everybody needs a coach and a mentor. And this is an opportunity for you to get coaching and mentorship in a nutshell, in a 5-day retreat, and how so that you can blow up your business. Stop saying I'm going to make the money, I'm going to do it. Make the money.
Absolutely. And we understand that some people's minds aren't stretched to believe that they can make like $1,000 a day. So the thing about Terri and I is we show you how to make $20 a day. And to the average person, they may say, what is $20 a day? When you do $20 times 30 days, that's $600 a month. For some people, that's a house and a car note. So we actually show you how to make anywhere from $20 a day to $1,000 a day. Prime example, I went to Charlotte yesterday, which is like a 3-hour commute one way for me. And prior to going to Charlotte, I dropped a product on my page, a video, just telling people how to get a certain product. And I went to Charlotte, went on about my merry business, took 3 hours one way, got what I needed, turned around and drove back 3 hours, came home, checked my computer, and I'd made $46. So I made my gas money to travel to Charlotte. And then on top of that, before I went to bed, made another $27. And it wasn't me out there promoting all day long. It was just simple methods that Terri and I will teach in the Business Exposure Mastermind that will help you to be able to make $20 to $100 a day, which tends to add up. So we definitely want you guys to come check us out. For more information on that, you can go to businessexplosion.net. Businessexplosion.net, or connect with Terri, Terri Clay on Facebook, or Suham, Sueham on Facebook. So Terri, in the last 2 minutes, give us your closing remarks and tell people how they can find you, how they can learn about blogging and any other products or information that you have, and how to be a part of your radio show.
Yeah, well, thanks, for allowing me to come to the call today, and I appreciate it. And you can always connect with me at thestartupbiz.com, or you can hit me up at successwithterri.com, and that's successwithterri, Terri.com. And actually, those are both the same site. And I'm Terri Clay on Facebook, Terri Clay on Instagram, Terri Clay on Twitter. And you can just connect with me any of those places. If you have any questions, you always head over to the store, and then you can find out about blogging or, any of the courses that I'm teaching. And that's it.
Well, Terri, awesome, man. Thank you so much for taking time to come out. 'Twas the day before Christmas.
All righty.
So, guys, you've heard it. Get with Terri Clay. You can go to successwithterri, Terri.com. Find out what she's got going on with the blog, the interviews, and definitely go pop in her store and see how you can further advance your career, your business. But also, if you've got more questions about the mastermind, the Business Exposure Mastermind, you can contact Terri on Facebook or contact myself, or head over to the website at businessexplosion.net. Guys, until next Wednesday, don't forget we got Mr. Mike Williams, the 7-figure blueprint creator, also the creator of the self-profit-driven system. And I think he's a six-figure earner online. He's going to tell us how he made the move from working at a bank to becoming a group home owner to actually just working for himself. So you guys definitely want to tune in next Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you want to hear the replay of this show, it will be posted up on my blog on the Suham website. That's SUEHAM.com, Suham.com. But until next time, guys, remember to live, love, learn, and laugh. Don't quit. Follow your dreams to success, baby. And Terri, thank you once again. You guys have a Merry Christmas.
Peace.